don't want to do this.
Just do it.
Okay.
I'll take that later.
Okay. This is so uncomfortable.
I'm not here.
Okay, I'm pretending you're not there.
Now I'm pretending you're not there.
Thanks,
This is a lot harder.
Hello everybody and welcome to my March wrap up. I read a total of 9 books this month, which was pretty dodgy considering that like my TBR had like 16 books on it, but then I kind of had to reconsider that because my SAT calendar had like 5 pages to it just for March, but that's okay, I got through it. I didn't do well in SACs. Also, shout out to my friend YVONNE who's in the same room as me. Say hi, YVONNE!
Hi.
YVONNE says hi. The first book I read in March was Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, which I gave a 4 out of 5 stars to. Technically it's still 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads because I don't have the heart to change it because I'm quite attached to it. I didn't like this as much as I did the original, like, read, like the first time I read it. I loved it in 2014. I mean, it really appealed to like 16-year-old Georgia. It was funny, it was cute, but now that I've reread it, I kind of see heaps of faults with it. I think it's kind of cheesy, and I need to be totally honest here, I was very, very relieved when I finished it, but of course, I think I kept the extra star because of the addition. So the next book I read was Starflight by Melissa Landers, and I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars, or like a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I think it's actually 5 out of 5 stars somewhere, I don't know, I need to check Goodreads, really should have checked Goodreads. I'm going to start this off by saying that this was a very, like, hyped up book for me. I had very high expectations going into it, I don't know why, like, I enjoyed Alienated by Melissa Landers, but it wasn't really my favourite thing ever, so I'm not really sure like why I hyped this one up so much, but I did enjoy it. I did ultimately enjoy it. It was very funny, it was very fast paced, it is really small, it's like 300 something pages, and the font is like double spaced, so it's massive. I guess I think I just hyped it up too much in my head, and I ultimately, like, even though I enjoyed it, didn't enjoy it as much as I possibly could. I did absolutely love the characters though. One character had like the most amazing character development, like holy shit. Like I realized that if it has dual point of view and there is a male main character and a female main character, that I will lean towards liking the male main character more, and this was like no different because Doran is a small cinnamon roll, but I did love both characters here. I love the whole crew, and I'm so happy that we're getting a sequel. It isn't even a freaking sequel, it's a companion. But we still get the characters, it's okay, I'm happy. The next book I read was Beautiful Player by Christina Lauren, and I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. I definitely like this better than the first 2 books in this, like, trilogy thing. The first 2 books I honestly hated. I don't know, like, why. Everyone, I think, thought they were absolutely fucking amazing, and I was just kind of like, they were decent. Kind of creepy, but they were decent. Will and Hannah are my favourite couple so far in this. I mean, the other 2 couples, like, made an appearance, and, like, I really like their appearances, but, like, I think maybe I'll enjoy rereading the books again, but then I realised that I really didn't like them. The only reason it lost a star was because it dragged a little, like, in the middle and towards the end, and Hannah lost her quirkiness with me, and, like, the characters kind of fell flat towards me. They kind of picked up at the end, but Hannah just didn't really, she didn't step it up, Hannah. The next book I read was Defy by Sarah B. Larson, and I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. This was supposed to be a retelling of Mulan, a fantasy retelling of Mulan, obviously, but it didn't feel as badass. It just kind of felt like she was playing dress up. The love triangle kind of pissed me off because it's glaringly obvious who she's going to end up with, and I go into books already hating love triangles, so I'm pretty sure I'm biased towards that, but it's really obvious who she ends up with in the first book, and the love triangle thing continues, and it's like, who's she gonna end up with? And I'm like, it's really fucking obvious. Why are you still doing this? The next book I read is Ignite by Sarah B. Larson, which is the sequel to Defy. I also gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. It was a decent sequel. It was much more jam-packed than the first book, and as I've come to learn, the third book. There was obviously some stuff I didn't like how fast a certain relationship went, like, you've known each other for 3 months, why are you saying you love each other? I don't get what's happening. Please get it together, characters, please get it together. And of course, the next book I read was Endure by Sarah B. Larson, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars, or kind of like a 3.5 of the Georgia scale, because I've got to be totally honest, it was not a good ending, I guess. The pacing of this book felt more like the pacing of like the laggy second book in trilogies, and it didn't really get faster until like the final like 20 pages, and there I was just like glazing through it. I didn't care. I just kind of wanted to get it over and done with. Maybe I would reread the past 20 pages because I really kind of like it's a decent trilogy. It's decent fantasy, but that's all it was decent, and one character that previously gave me the shits finally got it together before something happened, so I was not very happy with that. And it was an okay ending. The epilogue really bumped it up for me, but it was kind of like, that was it. It was okay. The next book I have here isn't actually a book. You're right there. It's okay. As long as you don't like die on me, I have to explain to your mum like, fuck. Oh, thank God no one's home. Okay.
Can I say hi, Dina?
Hi, Dina, as her daughter sits in front of a camera. The next book I have here isn't actually a book, and it is the, what is it? A History of Notable Shadowhunters and Denizens of the Downworld Told in the Language of Flowers by Cassandra Cartwright Clare and Cassandra Starkweather Jean. Wow, that's a mouthful. This is a compilation of Cassandra JP on Tumblr's flower cards that she released like one every couple of days. Or weeks as it could be. She's not very like good at releasing them like on point, like by the date. What the fuck am I trying to say? I did really enjoy this just for the fact that like it had more characters in the book than it did online, and I like reblog like all the ones online, so there were quite a few characters in here that did not appear. But I love this. I loved how there was like a little snippet about the character at the bottom of the page, and there was like the statistics and everything. So like there was some stuff there, like it wasn't just a book of pictures. The next book I read was Illusions of Fate by Kirsten White. I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. Obviously, it is like my favourite book of all time. This is the 4th time I've reread it. I love it. It does not matter how many times I read this book, I will still love it. Like even more, I'll just find new things to like love about it. I need to like mention this here though, that I was absolutely like enamored with the parallels to Howl's Moving Castle. Like if I need to mention one thing about this book, it is that if you enjoyed Howl's Moving Castle, the Studio Ghibli movie and or the book, this will appeal to you. It's also 287 pages, so like, you know, it'll take you a couple hours to read at most. It's freaking amazing. And finally, the last book I read in March was The Winner's Curse by Marie Rakowski, and I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. This was a reread, and I did ultimately like it more than I liked it the first time I read it. I really enjoyed it this time, but I will say towards the final 100 pages, I very much zoned out. I didn't really like enjoy it as much as I honestly like should have and could have, but I'm so happy I reread this in preparation for The Winner's Kiss, which comes out on March 29th, and going on from that, I am filming this on the 23rd of March, and it is obviously early for a wrap-up to be filmed because there is still so much time to be had in said month. But basically I'm going away and I need to film this all before I go. So the book I'm currently reading is The Winner's Crime by Marie Rakowski. I can't speak English. And this is the sequel to The Winner's Curse and is the second book in the trilogy. Starting it is an overstatement. The bookmark is in. I haven't started yet, but the bookmark's in it. Therefore, I'm technically reading it. But hopefully I'm going to finish this by the end of March. If not, I will just add it in the April wrap-up. Yes. So I hope you have a great day, afternoon, night thing, and I will hopefully see you soon.